Welcome to FlowWright version 9.10. We are happy to release this new version with many new enhancements and fixes. And you can see all these enhancements within our release notes. If you go to documentation.flowwright.com, you'll be able to go to release notes and view version 9.10. We have a whole host of enhancements. As you can see, various settings, configuration settings, changes, enhancements to application tools, to workflow designers, forms, various different enhancements. And I'm going to walk you through some of these within the application. But you're always welcome to look at this list and navigate to each one of these and see in-depth details on each one of these enhancements. So let's go ahead and log into FlowWright. I'm actually logging into a multi-tenant version of FlowWright. As you can see, the login page is changed, and also we have a new FlowWright logo in 9.10. So let's go ahead and log in. First thing that you will notice in 9.10 is that the menu structure is changed. We have optimized the left menu structure based on usage and based on the things that you will most likely to perform. And we separated things into engage, where you can manage tasks and notifications, and under create you have your process definitions, form definitions, various things that you can create here. And then under run menu you have all the execution items like process instances, form instances, triggers. Then we have things in analytics, like things like reporting and BI. Under integration, we have hooks to other systems, including the ESB. And then administration section has a whole bunch of configuration items. So we've tried to optimize the menu much as possible, so the menu is based on usage. The next thing I want to show you is within this UI, we have also made it possible for you to refresh information without refreshing the whole page. So if you go to any of these pages, you will see that right here next to the search box we have a refresh icon, and all you have to do is click on that icon and it will refresh the data within the data table. So that way you don't have to reload the whole page. So same thing if you go to any other page. So for example, let me go to process instances, and I can just click on this button and refresh. Let's go back to the workflow designer. We've done a few upgrades on the workflow designer. And here's an example workflow. And if you look at this designer and if you click on any of these steps, you will see that we have a tabbed interface here that is going to show you the most required properties first, and then advanced will have optional parameters or inputs for that step, and then under logging you have documentation and logging. So we've tried to optimize this UI so that the most used settings are right on the first tab. And we have also changed the documentation within the product to point to our documentation website, documentation.flowwright.com. Within the workflow designer also, if I grab, let's say, if I go into any of these steps, you will see that on the context menu, we have delete all connections now, where you can delete and you can also swap steps. And also within this, all the pop-ups are now made it so that they show up as prompts and dialog windows, where it will not lose focus. So let me show you an example of that. Let me grab one of these steps. Let's say forms, and let's say we're going to do create PDF. Actually, let's grab a different one. Let's say form values. if I click on this, I will get a pop-up. And you can see that this pop-up is a modal dialog. And I can also move this dialog around. And if I click on anywhere, you can see the dialog will not lose focus. Okay. And we have done that with all the dialogues within FlowWright. So even if I go back now and go to create, you will see that we have modal dialogues that are now movable within FlowWright. Okay. The next thing I want to show you is we have added audit logging. Previously, FlowWright had system logging or system-wide logging, and we have renamed this to be system log. And you can also see it will also show you the total number of entries. But what did this particular log only showed errors and informational items, but now we have added so that you can also get an audit log. And what the audit log will show you is if any configuration change was performed by any user, that configuration change is logged to the audit log, and it will also show you the previous value and the new value. So here you can see variable globals was removed in this particular definition. You can also see the operation. You can see there was a download operation on config settings on this particular form definition. So based on the action performed and what was changed, it will log the old and new value also. The next thing I want to show you is, let's go back to our menu here, the email queue. On the email queue, you'll be able to see by clicking on any email, you can see whether all the information regarding that particular email, and also you can see whether the email was acknowledged, whether the person the email was received by saw the email, and when they saw it. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what else we can show you. One of the biggest changes that we made also was to dates and times. Everything within FlowWright is now saved as UTC date time, and we are able to display the date time on any of the UIs based on the current logged in user's time zone. And now you will see, if you go into your little account icon, you will see that my time zone. Currently I'm in the Eastern time zone, and you can also see what the browser detected as the Eastern time zone. If you're traveling, you can actually go and change the time zone. FlowWright will also automatically detect that there's a time zone change and will prompt you if there is a change. And if I go into any of my, let's say, pages here, let's say we go to form definitions, all these dates created on, updated on, these values are stored in UTC in our database, but as is displayed in the UI, it will be shown, in my case, in UTC. If you want to set for a user, you can, if you look in the users table or the user UI under administration, if you edit any user, you will also see ways to set time zone, and also you can turn on notification. You can also set the default culture for all users. This will automatically go and set the default culture, and you can select the culture that you want. Given that we have made a UTC date time change for existing customers, we have also built a utility which is documented on our documentation website that can be used to change all your dates and times within the FlowWright application into UTC format, which there will be another video available on how to perform that. The next thing I'm going to show you is the configuration settings UI. We've already had configuration settings within FlowWright where you can configure various settings. So if I go into status and if I go to settings and configuration, we are able to set up different things here. But what we didn't have is a way to add new configuration settings. And to do that, we have done that. If you go back into this menu, you can see there's a settings designer. Here you can actually go and build other settings that you want to store. So this will support user settings. So as our customers are now able to create configuration items using the settings designer. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is within the workflow designer, we also have few other things like expression builders that we have built. The expression builder is available within forms and also within the process designer. Let me first show you within the process designer. So let's go to a process definition. And most of you are familiar with how to use variables and globals. We've also done a little enhancement on that. You can actually go to any field now and press Alt V, and that will give you the list of variables, and the variables will also show you the type next to them. You can also and take Alt G. It will also show the list of globals. In my case, I don't have a list of globals. And if you type in Alt E, it will show the workflow expression builder. You can see we have pre-built functions, things for like aggregate functions to do average, count, max, and depending on the type, there are various different functions available. And you can type in any expression that you want here, and you can also test it here. You can verify it, and you can see the result. So I can just type in a simple 1 plus 3 and say verify, and this will come back and give me a result of 4. But I can also do other things like, for example, text. So let's do a text function. I'm going to do left, and we will automatically add an example for you if you click on the function. So in this case, we are asking for the left 4 characters from the word FlowWright. And if I say verify, you can see it will give you the value flow. And all you have to do is say just use and close, and it will automatically put that function for you. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is within forms. We have a similar expression builder within forms also. So let me go ahead and open the forms designer. If I'm in a form, you can also type in, let's say for example, if I go in here, you can use variables now. So you can, and you can also use the expression builder. Let me just go to one of the events. In this properties window for this particular event on this field, you can see we have a little icon here for the expression builder for the forms. If you click on that, you will see the expression builder will pop up, and you can pick up various different fields, functions. So for example, if I click on this, you can see all the controls for form fields. You can select those. You can also have custom expressions, and all that can be easily navigated and used using the expression builder. In regards to forms, we have also made quite a number of enhancements within the forms designer. Now you can drag these controls and make them larger. You can also, we have handled better ways to render this on mobile devices. So for example, if I go and do a preview, you will see what this particular form looks like. But if I go to a mobile view, you can completely see that this will automatically adjust into a single column with the information properly displayed. We also saw some issues regards to touch in mobile devices. We have fixed those also. You can now scroll just by touching and moving the screen up and down. And we have also included, if you're embedding our forms in iframes on your website or in a public or private website, we have also added how-to articles in our documentation, how to embed iframe, where the iframe will automatically resize based on the content of the form. We have also done a few other enhancements into our algorithm for calculating critical path. We have a brand new algorithm that is fast and a lot more accurate when it comes to calculating dates and milestones. And the new algorithm is built into FlowWright 9.10. Next, let me go ahead and show you some of the things we have done on the expression evaluation engine. If you go into our tools, the expression builder or the expression evaluator now supports LINQ expressions, but not only that, it supports regex expressions also. Let me go ahead and copy expression. Here's a little expression that checks. So let me go ahead and paste that. This will check if this has only starts with any alpha characters. So this expression checks whether this particular word starts with a capital letter. So in this case, it returns me false. But let's say if I put a capital D in front, this will return me true, showing that it starts with a capital letter. So now you can perform any regex type expression using any of our decision steps, condition steps, expression evaluation steps, and anywhere expressions are used, regex can be used, and also LINQ expressions are also now supported. The next thing we have implemented is login providers or authentication connections, where they will use login providers. So let me go ahead and show that. In this particular case, I'm going to go under authentication. And we have authentication connections, but also we have providers. In this case, we have various different providers. OAuth providers, we have a SAML GET provider, Windows authentication provider, we have a Forms authentication provider, which is default used by FlowWright, and we have an API token authentication provider. You can actually build your own custom providers and configure them and use them within FlowWright. And you can also build connections based on these providers. You can go and configure authentication connections here, and once you have configured, you can also make them available within the login page. So if you want users coming from different SAML sites or from various OAuth sites, you can have those configured and displayed within FlowWright so that users can log in from various different avenues. We will, in the next versions, we'll be providing more authentication providers, like for example, LinkedIn, Office 365, Google. You'll be able to log in using those accounts and access FlowWright also. The next item I want to show you is with process instances. In process instances, we have also done enhancements to the rendering. So for example, if I take, let's say, one of the workflow instances here, you can see there's a little window. Now you can use this little window to navigate through your workflow, rendered workflow. You can also click on this little bar and move this anywhere that you like. So you can move it away, and if you move out, the window will automatically go out, and if you come back, it will automatically show you that. In regards to rendering, we have also, like I said before, implemented a new algorithm for calculating critical path. And if you go to the critical path view, you can also get the instance critical path and the definition critical path. So if I click on the critical path, you will also see the date times shown directly within the graphics itself. In this way, it will be easy to look at the graphic and see if the dates and times are correct. In many times, the runtime critical path could be very different from the definitions critical path. You can also view the definition critical path in this case, also see if they match or how they differ. Additionally to these enhancements, we have also added quite a number of new workflow steps to the product. And if you go into the release notes, you can see all the different steps that we have added, including some of the dynamic steps where you can build the workflow dynamically. We have a dynamic task builder step, dynamic step builder step, and various other steps that we have added based on some of our customer requests. We'll be adding more and more steps with every release. You're welcome to look at our documentation site and see the release notes and also all the new enhancements we have added to the product. We have also updated all our documentation, and it's fully available on the documentation site at documentation.flowwright.com. And hope you enjoyed 9.10. We had a blast working on 9.10. The team really put a lot of effort and dedication in 9.10. We had over 150 different features put into the product in a very short time. Went through a very good QA testing cycle, and now we're happy to release 9.10 today. Thank you.